Christofferson on the right, Yang on the left. Vitally important for Denmark to get off to a flyer here. It's a race to 8. That's a sprint in 9-ball terms. Yang and Wu win the break. And the man they call Little Genius
winner breaks. Chinese Taipei to break.
Strides to the table. And if he hits this break anywhere near the force that he is capable of, you're in for a treat.
Decimation.
And 4 balls disappear. And how unlucky is Wu not to have left Yang a clear look at the 1.
You know, Wu has shed some 60 pounds since he won that World Championship a couple of years ago. The pounds might have gone, but the power certainly hasn't.
You'll never forget it, Phil. I was commentating in the final. He broke into tears as his grandmother came onto the stage with him. One of the sport's most memorable moments. And so much has been expected of Yang, the man who just played that shot and left it for Latvia. And his best is yet to come, I feel. And they're smiling, the team from Chinese Taipei. And it'll be down to Denmark to wipe those smirks off their faces.
Not just the national team. These two actually practice together and use the Copenhagen pool house as their home club.
Casper just eyeing up this straight 2. All he had to guard against was drawing into that center pocket. And he's just slightly overdone that, but not bad. The natural angle brings the cue ball down towards the 9. He's overhit this. Again, the sort of shot that you'd like to bet he gets, but in the opening rack of the biggest team event in the world, very missable. Latvia gets it and establishes the first rack to Denmark.
So many of their fellow competitors in the crowd
Denmark to break.
taking a look at
Within
this
1
match,
rack
which
to nil.
was expected to be one-sided, but nothing really working out to plan in this tournament of unpredictability.
Good solid break from Latvia there. Willing that 2 to stop, and it does not obey commands. One more look.
Yes, the 9 frustratingly intervening.
He's contemplating trying to flick that 2 in off that bottom cushion. He just wants the green light. Imran Majid on the right, Tony Drago in the middle, and Daryl Peach on the left. The back 2 make up England here in the World Cup. Tony Drago and his partner Alex Borg make up Malta's team. And another one, the Rocket, Rodney Morris. His partner Corey Deuel will be around. It actually looked like Corey right below him, just seeing the hairstyle. And the jump shot, trying to get this too. Never easy. When the ball's so close to the cushion, you've got to really play that with an amount of finesse.
Start the clock.
And the first real opportunity as we see the foul again, and with ball in hand, the first real chance, Phil, if you haven't had an opportunity to see these two play, then you are in for a treat. They are poetry in motion.
On the fact sheet that the Chinese Thai players filled in over breakfast this morning, 4 very important words for Chia Ching. Asked to describe himself, he says, "Pool is my life."
After he won the World Championship in 2005, quickly bought his mother a condo back in Kaohsiung to thank her for her support in his upbringing.
Yes, and talking of Kaohsiung, that's the hometown of his partner. Quickly, it seems, back on level terms, Jim.
Yes, and maybe no way back for Denmark now. If they let the Chinese Taipei pairing get ahead of steam, few can live with them.
Chia Ching, age 18, already a world champion a couple of years ago.
Won both the 8-ball and the 9-ball the same year. That was accomplished again by the reigning world 9-ball champion Elcano. But look at his resume at such a tender age.
Yes, the youngest player ever to hold either title. And that record will take some wiping out of the books, Jim.
He knocked out Thorsten Homan's title when he did that, Phil. But a testament to the prowess. Nice break. He got the 1 into the side, and he's nicely on the 2. The 3 at his mercy over the bottom corner pocket. Yang Ching Shun has been many people's choice to win the World Championship the last 3 or 4 years that we've seen it move to Asia.
Semi-finalist in 02, quarter-finalist in 03. Last year, out in the last 32, beaten by Ralph Suke.
Now the choice here for Yang, does he want to drop below the 4 and play it to the top right corner, or try and get above it, back out into the middle of the table? The safety option would be to drop below it. And he's elected to try and get above it. That was a lot harder. Just adjusting his mic. If you hear the scratching noise, that'll be the cues. These guys get down right over the cue. And sometimes that cue rubs right along the surface of our mics. These players are mic'd.
Extension call.
Chia Ching, a thin cut on this 4. The problem here is needs to avoid contacting the 9 unless he wants to use it. And he did. But it's going to take an equally good shot here from Yang. You can see that 9 invitingly placed over that corner pocket. But Yang has to get from the 5 back down for the 7. And the ever-present side pocket on the right-hand side factors into the equation here. He's really got to hit this sweet.
Sweet it was. Changing hands. But the normal result when it comes to Wu doesn't change.
Could have been easier, this. No danger. So much talent on display out there right now, and that's what Denmark has to contend with. Chinese Taipei now 2-1 in front. They drop the opener and quickly stamp their superiority on this
6,
one.
Chinese Taipei to break, leading 3 racks to 2.
12 months ago in the partypoker.net World Cup of Pool, Chinese Taipei reached the quarterfinals. Many think they could go on to win the whole shebang this time.
Yes, it was a different pairing, though. They went out to Germany in those quarterfinals, a 9-4 scoreline. But the son of Pool, Yang Ching Shun, was partnered by Wang Hung Shuang. And I feel that Wu Chia Ching presents a much more formidable pairing. How's your Taiwanese, Phil?
Non-existent.
I think he said. I think they're trying to figure out what table they're going to book for dinner. Obviously not trying to get too close, leaving the difficult 3. But the one that should be the brickwork for victory here. Big shot. That's what you call confidence in your partner, Phil.
Well, he's potted very well, hasn't he, Yang? And the more he pots, the more that self-belief will build. We've seen a lot of that, though, you know, during the course of this first round. Players just marginally overscrewing. Clearly, it's a responsive cloth and a responsive cue ball.
They'll just kill the speed here. Play this with slow bottom and check spin. Oh, he's decided to play it off the 2 cushions, a little riskier. But how about the result? Again, a sign to his partner that he's feeling it. Well, Wu has left Yang another tester. I think he'd like to have got that cue ball a little further down table. Should still get this.
The only thing that could possibly save the Danish the cue ball being glued to the cushion.
Nine down. Yang and Wu now 2 clear.
Number 3 seeds, heavily fancied here in Rotterdam, leading Denmark 4-2. And Wu to break.
I'd take this man's break over just about anybody on the planet. He's got so much power, and look at how he plants that cue ball in the middle of the table. That is hours upon hours of practice, being able to crunch those colors and park Whitey in the middle.
It could have been a straight in one ball.
Just trying to duck over and behind. The 5 here needs to be hit perfectly. And I'm not too sure it's there. It's very close. An anxious look from both sides by both players from Chinese Taipei. Now both players from Denmark. This looks very close. You know, if he can see this, it might be worth having to go into the side pocket, because even if he doesn't get it, and there's confirmation, he can just get through to this one. Why not have a go at it? Slow roll it. Even if you miss it, you've got the 2 as a blocker into the corner. I don't speak Danish, but I'm pretty sure that's what Casper just told him.
Yes, they took the extension there. So now on their second portion of 40 seconds. This is an extremely acute angle. But as Jim said, there's an insurance policy at the end of it.
Worth the risk, Phil. Well, I didn't expect him to shoot it at that speed. That had to go in at that speed. Nice shot from Bahram Latvi there.
Casper Christoffersen. It's a quintessentially Scandinavian name, isn't it?
Great shot there from Casper. As sweet as a nut, he hit that one. Now back in prime position. They've got this rack by the throat. And there's no way they're going to let it go.
New experience for both of these. Denmark weren't in the 32-man or 64-man 32 team World Cup of Pool in 2006. Massive occasion.
Yes, he just wrong-sided him on the 5 there and was forced to play into the short pocket. The one furthest from the 6. Just got to guard against complacency, though. I doubt that'll ever enter the equation here.
Apologies in advance, Jim. But here in rack number 7, the Danes on the verge of bringing home the bacon.
punctuated with a thump 9 into the heart of the pocket. Kristoffersen and Lotvi 4-3 down to the number 3 seeds here, but with a break to come in rack number 8. Pre-event favorites.
Denmark to break.
Very relaxed in their chairs. 4-3, they lead. Forced to watch Denmark break to try and square accounts. Great cue ball from Lotvi there.
Yes, that wing ball to fly straight in. Now keep your eyes on this one ball. Trying to push it across the table with his cue.
Well, I think he's done just enough. The 2 deposited on the break.
Ja, men hvis du for eksempel bare spiller lige højere, så er det nemmere for mig, hvis den bare ligger sådan forholdsvis lige på, end hvis den for eksempel lå her, spiller den for kort, eller...
Jeg tror, jeg vil hellere spille med 2 bander rundt.
Okay, så gør jeg.
Men jeg prøver at lade være med at komme alt for langt ud.
Ja, ja. Så bare
If we had Niels Fayen's better half, Kat, sat in the commentary box, she'd be able to tell us exactly what they're saying. Great player in her own right, Phil.
Well, Denmark and the Netherlands A team are in different halves of the draw, so no possibility of a conflict in Kat's interest until at least the final.
And that would be an unlikely final, I have to say. Holland A, one of the pre-event favorites.
Skal jeg prøve at holde den, eller hvad? Eller
Denmark,
skal jeg prøve at trække den og så få den herover?
unseeded.
Stanchion call.
Using their extension, and that underlines the significance of this shot. A difficult prospect, trying to knock this in and get back for the pink 4 next. He's actually overhit it.
Ja,
Pressurised pot coming up for Kristoffersen.
Now, did he use the 5 as a blocker? Very close. Lotvi over to have a look. And now it's Yang and Wu's turn. And I think he can just get through to this, but he's just going to have to slither it in and play the long 5 up to the top left corner.
Extension call.
You just heard them call for the extension. They understand the significance here. I think he's just got to try and flick this in, Phil, and just hold for the 5 top left. Now this is a real tough shot that faces Wu, and he's got to take it on.
But for the big shot on the big occasion, he'd be one of those players you'd nominate. Thank you. Wu Chia Ching. Just completely mishit that. Much too thin.
It was far from easy, though, in your defense, Phil. I totally agreed with what you said. He'd be my man for the big occasion when you need a big shot. But
Så er bare... Ja, det kan jeg også gøre.
team play always brings a different dimension into the world of pool. Unless you've experienced it, and I have played, represented Canada in the World Cup of snooker, I can tell you it's a pressure like no other.
If the old memory serves me correct, Jim, that was in Thailand in '96. Didn't you get to the quarterfinals?
Well, they have no more extensions, so they've got to get on with it. They can't afford to take too long. They were down below 5 seconds when that last shot was played.
Tell you what I do remember about that World Cup in Thailand. Good job none of you were ill, because your reserve arrived after you'd been knocked out.
Good point, Phil, because just looking around here, I don't know whether any of these teams have reserves should something happen. I know a couple of them had problems getting their passports in order, and those teams were duly replaced.
Well, Chinese Taipei have played a pretty neat rack.
And they're back into a 2-rack lead, 5-3. And again, secure the break and maintain momentum.
Chinese Taipei to break, leading 5 racks to 3.
The defending champions, the Philippines, are through to the last 16. Everyone expects Chinese Taipei to join them there. But this has been no pushover.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. Cue ball kicked just slightly out of position, and I don't think that one passes. Wu is having a good look. Phil, I talked about teams and reserves. In fact, Malaysia was replaced by Belgium in this event, and I know there was a player from Austria that was replaced by Albin Ocean, Jasmine Ocean's younger brother. Oh, great shot. He only had half the pocket there. Now, precision required from the 2 to the 3. You can see the gap. And he's overhit it. And he knew it as soon as he hit it. Too much adrenaline in that back arm on that shot. He had about a 12-inch gap that he had to negotiate. But you can see they're laughing about it. And you know what that does? It removes the pressure. Forgive and forget. And one of the best with the jump cue, from my experience, will dig his partner out of the mud.
That famous horse race in England, the Grand National. It's all about steeplechasing. This tournament is the Grand International, and that was a grand shot, also a steeplechase.
He really is tremendous, Wu. He's got so many weapons in his arsenal. Just thumping that in and pinching a bit of the pocket. Those are real demoralizing shots when your opposition plays a very lax positional shot. His partner comes up and plays a shot that we've just seen the like of from Wu. Just start to have to get out of your chair, and all of a sudden you sink back into it.
Yes, and class beginning to tell.
And in a big way, Phil. 6'3", the son of Poole and the little genius in command here in Rotterdam.
Into rack 10 then, with Taiwan at the table.
You really can't see Denmark taking this shot. I think Yang's going to be coming back to the table. But they're worried. What did Yang see that they don't?
Selv er det bedste. Eller er det bedste en genspil, for det ikke sidst, når rammer på venstre side, så kan du scratche.
That, I think, is the essential ingredient that makes the push-out such an interesting ploy. It really is a psychological issue.
All I can see is just trying to bump the one down to the bottom end of the table and duck in behind these colors. I mean, that side pocket certainly dictates how this shot can be played and must be played. Well, here we go. You can color me surprised, but I like seeing a brave shot like this. You know, now looking at it, I wonder if he can hit half ball here. Side cushion with the one. Just seeing it from that camera angle again, Phil, there might be another option here. Half ball hit and just swing the cue ball wide of the bottom corner. A little bit of left-hand spin into the cue ball as you look. Either proposition, very tough. I'm still surprised he's taken this.
And with the configuration of the balls on the table, one mistake could be lethal.
Just too difficult. Obviously, they were so wary of what the Asian pair had in their minds that they didn't want to risk it. That's a bad shot from Wu. Very bad shot from Wu.
Heavy-handed, clumsy, call it what you will. Not what you expect. Still smiling. I think they're a little out of embarrassment.
As Latvia covered that one. One thing for certain, he's just bumped the blue two into the open. I think you're going to see Yang get his jump cue out. And he's just got to go over the edge of this.
Tension call.
But he's very close to that two.
Massive height on the cue arm elbow. And that was just perfect.
Wu was smiling. That was pure magic. That was almost like anything you can do, I can do better. That really was a fantastic shot from Yang.
World class, champion caliber.
Few early hiccups in this match. And once that was forgotten, they've hit another gear, and a gear that I fear Denmark can't match. And now they arrive on the hill. 7-3, Chinese Taipei in front of Denmark. The number 3 seeds will break for the match.
Happy, and why not? Content with the way things are going. And Yang is very content with his 2007 season. In the Asian Tour, he's been fantastic. When the Kaohsiung leg beat Fong Pang Chao in the final, also won in Singapore and Shanghai. There, beating the world champion Ronnie Alcano 12-10 in the final.
7 racks to 3.
A mark of his class.
Quite possibly the beginning of the end of Denmark's run in the 2007 PartyPoker.net World Cup of Pool, because Wu is a clear look at this one, and everything is in the open.
Yes, Denmark's first appearance in this tournament, and a baptism of fire.
Back over near where he's standing, off one cushion. Now it's all about where that 5 is. It doesn't look like it's available to the side pocket, so it's going to have to be played to the bottom right as we look. You can't get above it. We'll just try and thump this in and force the cue ball into the top cushion. That's all he could do. Plenty of angle now. This is the ball. This is match ball right here. If he gets this, Denmark can start unscrewing their cues.
Yes, it's now ominous. More than.
I've already marked my scorecard, Phil.
And this will be surely 6 Asian teams through to the last 16.
They are so dominant. And Wu and Yang complete a victory that was expected. The early going offered a possibility for Denmark, but it didn't materialize. 8-3. They're through to round 2.